Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Glad to have everybody here today. Hope everybody's got a cup of coffee and looking forward to a fantastic presentation. We have Marcus Boyd with Fayetteville Appliance Repair. Coming to talk to us about a business here in Fayetteville. Without further ado, let us welcome Marcus.
Hey there, I'm Marcus Boyd with Fayetteville Appliance Repair. I appreciate the welcome, Miss Register. Mr. Kent, thanks for helping me get here. And my wife and oldest daughter stayed up all night trying to help me get a presentation together, so I appreciate those guys too. Fayetteville Appliance Repair, a little bit about us. We've been in business, I would say, a little over a year. We've been in Fayetteville a little over a year and a half. So our contact information, you'll definitely need that sometime. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now. Our website, you can find us at repairfayettevilleappliance.com. You can also reach me by email at repairfayettevilleappliance@gmail. And my phone number is 910-489-0867. So you can give me a call anytime I can help you out. A little bit about our company, about us. First off, we appreciate getting to share a little bit about Fayetteville Appliance Repair. Since my family and I are new to this area, we moved to Fayetteville about a year and a half ago from Louisiana, pursuing a dream. We researched the top areas to grow a business and decided Fayetteville was the best option due to high demand. Why us? So we solve problems in the home. Some of the industry problems, one of them is new appliances are built to last 1 to 3 years before major components tear up, before an appliance technician has to come out. So that's a huge issue. Obviously, some of you guys, I've seen them last 20 years. Some people have seen them last 30 years, but they're not built like that anymore, kind of like cars and things. Another huge issue in the industry is old technicians are being phased out by the electronics, by all the new components coming out. So that's obviously a good thing because people love the gimmicks and on the new appliances and things, but it's also phasing our old technicians out, so it makes less people to be able to work on these things, keeping them out of the landfill less. So our company, get over here. Sorry about that. I'm moving a little bit ahead. So our company is built to provide a better customer experience, complete transparency, and provide consumer education. For example, did you know by adding 2 cups of vinegar to a clean cycle in your washer, you can drastically cut down on the mildew and mold left behind in your tub? So I don't know if you've ever smelled a funny smell on your towels before after getting out of the shower, but that's what it's from, the mildew and mold in your washing machine. Same thing happens in your dishwasher. So Fayetteville Appliance Repair has systems and standards for every step of the process to be able to better help the business track revenue, parts, jobs, customers, marketing, and other key components to be able to duplicate the process more efficiently when the time comes to be able to build a team. So where we are now, we've been open for about a year. Our customer base is growing rapidly. So whenever I started the business, I had to learn marketing because what do you have if you don't have customers? You have nothing. So obviously I've been working really hard at that, and it's growing fast. We have an extensive 5-page website. I also had to learn how to build my website out and had to get some help with that as well. So multiple growing social media sites. We're growing fast on social media and Nextdoor app. Marketing, advertising, experience, main traffic sources. So the best ways for us to be able to bring in business, obviously, knocking on doors isn't the way to go anymore. So I'm using my best ways are Google My Business, Nextdoor neighbor app, exposure through a lot of social media posts, and Google Ads is a huge contributor. So right now we're in the first round of funding stage. We're looking to get funding, planning stages of hiring. We're also looking to start hiring some people to add to the team. So our plans, what I like to do is hire more technicians and put them through a 6-week training program that would consist of doing ride-alongs and guide them into external training material where they would gain extensive knowledge in appliance repair, basically the same ways I've learned to work on appliances. Duplicating our foundation and getting the funding to add technicians and staff to the team. With the systems and standards we have in place, we plan to expand 7 to 10 cities in the region in the next 3 to 5 years. I know it seems aggressive, but we got a lot of drive. Ultimately, I want Fayetteville Appliance Repair to be known for providing top quality service, being trustworthy, and having the absolute best customer experience in the home. So we're in your home, so we want you to be comfortable, obviously. In closing, I'm looking for new business connections with like-minded ideas to mastermind alongside to better the community. If anyone you know may be interested in partnering with us, we would love to discuss the opportunity further. Thank y'all for the opportunity. Any questions?
So Marcus, you said that an appliance was built to last 1 to 3 years before you start having problems. Do you have a partnership with some of the major retailers like Lowe's or Home Depot?
That's a really good question. We don't work with the manufacturers right now, and I don't know if it would be efficient to knock that 1 to 3 year the way they're building the last 1 to 3 years. I'm not sure if they would be interested in even helping us change that, because they've obviously went from 20 to 30 years to 1 to 3 years. I think that's where the market's going as far as our disposable, where we're at in the economy, I guess. Does that make sense?
It does, but so if you purchase just a washing machine from Lowe's, you bought a Samsung, and you have issues with it after the 1 year manufacturer's warranty is up, can you partner with Lowe's to be like a service person for Samsung or LG?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. You can, but they already refer us here locally in Fayetteville without any paperwork going for it. So that's pretty neat, but we don't have any contracts in line right now. We don't.
Marcus, you took the 6-minute rule very, very seriously. I've never heard you talk so fast, so must have had some extra strong Louisiana coffee this morning. But right now, the group, one of the things we've talked about, and I'd like to pose this, if you don't mind, to the group on your behalf, is besides things like what is it, Nextdoor, and some of the other things you have, Google My Business. I wonder, in this community, what are some things Marcus could do to help reach the community? And I will tell you that in our discussions, although Marcus is kind of taking any and all comers at the moment, is trying to push him towards gravitating towards clients that are willing and able to spend to have appliances repaired. So any suggestions? He's done some stuff on base, on post at Fort Bragg, and some of the housing there, I think.
Yes.
But any ideas about how he could better engage with the community? I know Don Matheson has them. He's just holding out.
Well, I have a counter question. What are you doing right now to get your name out?
Yeah, so every day, all night, I'm just posting on social media, going into the neighborhood groups on Facebook. Let's see, Google My Business is huge. So keyword, I'm very keyword heavy. Fayetteville Appliance Repair, everywhere. I have it everywhere. And Nextdoor app, I use it a lot. Google Ads, I can turn 100 into, I would say, on a good day, 1,100 revenue. So spend 100 with Google Ads and make 1,100 revenue that day. So that works well. Yeah, so Google and social media. No signs out and about or anything like that. And I would say that's getting me, I would say 3 to 8 customers a day, just depending on what it is, but an average of, I would say, 5 calls a day.
Marcus, are you asking for feedback or referrals or reviews or something?
I mean, any ideas you guys have to be able to grow the business faster would be great.
Yeah. Athena asked if you're listed on Yelp and Yellow Pages.
I'm not. I don't feel like it's as effective as I have a lot of avenues I'm missing out on because I'm staying so focused on these couple of areas that I found to be proven in my industry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I haven't yet.
No, it's 2 more things to keep up with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what you said the other day. I needed to shut down some of those social media sites, and that was great advice because I did, and I've focused on the other areas, and it's really doing great. So,
Hey, Marcus.
Yes, sir.
You know, the number one resource of an entrepreneur or small business like yourself is networks. And when I say networks, it's how you effectively use networks. You can overextend yourself and get too bogged down in certain parts of social media, you know, which I think that's where you're kind of leaning back to. But who's your target market? Maybe let me go there. Is it just
Good
you're just doing repairs or?
Yes, sir. So target market's really weird. Well, it's not really weird. It's very it's a lot of people in the target market. So basically, it's a high ratio of people calling below 30,000,
Right.
as well as I would say 18 years to 24 years old. That's a lot of my target market too. So it's very broad, considering that the average house has 5 to 10 appliances in it. So I got a huge target market, and a lot of them is on social media. Does that make sense?
Well, here's a real one for you. Yesterday, I know someone that's had a freezer for probably 15 years, and it stopped freezing. So my advice to them was to replace the freezer. Well, do you know how difficult that has been in the past 8 to 10 months locally? You
Yes,
cannot find a freezer. You have
Yes,
to
sir.
order a freezer, and then it's about a 6 to 8 week delivery. So
Huge.
what advice would you give me to pass on to this individual?
Wow, that's really good. It's really, the ball's been dropped on my end because I should have already been in their face, kind of. They should have already knew about it.
Yeah. So do you want me to make contact? Is that what you're?
But
You tell them to
yeah,
call you?
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. That's definitely why we're here. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, you're right. COVID-19 has shut down a lot of manufacturers, not just with freezers, but with a lot of other appliances, including refrigerators too. Also with a lot of parts as well. So
This
yeah,
is going to lead to
I
another
mean,
question, Marcus.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is going to lead to another question. Do you have appliances that you either fix for resale, or do you have new appliances besides your repair service?
So I don't deal in used appliances at all because I've seen a lot of roaches come into people's homes that didn't have them before through used appliances. So I think that's really the wrong way to go.
Right.
And new appliances, I do sell new appliances. Yes, sir. My one of my local parts houses has a good stock inventory of appliances. So yes, sir. If we can't repair them, I can replace them.
All right. I'm gonna give you a number out. I truly, this is a real deal.
I appreciate that.
So-
That means a lot to me. I'll give them a $25 discount. I appreciate that.
I'll tell them $25 discount. The last name's gonna be Morgan. They're gonna call you today. Thank you.
Okay, what's the last name?
Last name is Morgan.
Awesome. I'll treat them right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
What was your name?
I'm Jesse Bellflowers.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse.
Yep. I got one for you today.
So Marcus, I'm a little bit confused. So first and foremost, you have to be able to properly identify your target market before you can actually reach them. And so you say your market is broad, and then you say it's 18 to 24-year-olds. So, but what about the 65-year-old? Or what about location? That matters, right?
Yeah, that's really good stuff. So up to 104 is my target market. I was saying I specified the younger market because a lot of people don't feel like younger market is much of a target market, but they are a lot of my market, and which they're usually not a part of a lot of other industries. So anyway, that right there, and then location is key. I want to keep my radius down of travel 20 to 30 miles, so I want to be really close to the city limits of Fayetteville, around the outside interstate system, if that makes sense.
So if your target market is the 18 to 24-year-old, are you using Instagram at
Yep.
all?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. So we've got another couple of questions I wanted to ask. Dr. Fair wants to know, have you considered service and home warranties?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. As far as me offering that or working with those home warranty companies?
Both.
Okay, good stuff. I have kind of looked over, would need a lot more customers to offer a certain kind of maintenance program myself. I do offer a 90-day labor warranty and a 1-year part warranty after I complete a job. And working with the warranty companies, I work with Select Home Warranty, American Home Shield, and just started working with Choice Home Warranty. It's a lot for me as one person to do, taking on warranty work alongside what I'm already doing with normal customers or whatever. But I want to expand so I can take on more work with that. So that's a great question. Thank you for that.
So Marcus, you just said you have the warranty for your work. That's 90-day and up to a year, right? Do you use that in your advertising? Because if I'm a homeowner and I'm balancing whether I have to go replace this appliance or if it's cost effective to get it fixed, one of the complaints some people have is that they get a repair person out. They're supposed to have fixed it, but they didn't really fix it, and it continuously causes problems. So for a homeowner, if I was going to consider using your service, that would be a good selling point to me, because I would want to know that you stand behind your work.
Yes.
So I would definitely include that in the message that you're getting out, that you stand behind your work with a warranty of your own, because I think that would cause more people, like Mr. Bellflowers was saying, to not go the replacement route, but the repair route.
That's huge. I appreciate that.
Now, I'm going to ask you another question while I've got you here. You said in your slide that you were looking to expand in other cities, but yet I just heard you say you wanted to stay within 20 miles. So I'm confused. Which way are you going?
Yeah, so 20, 30 miles of each city. So me being in Fayetteville, working in Fayetteville, me personally, if I hired another technician here in Fayetteville, I would run this 20, 30 mile radius. In the region, as far as could expand out to several cities in this area, and that's the main reason that we're here. But yeah, I would want to stay 20, 30 miles within the city limits of every city that I'm in.
Okay.
And the reason that I would want to go into other cities as well is because it would just be a lot less pressure getting customers and being able to fill up a technician's route. So yeah, rather than running rural areas and only being able to get 2 or 3 calls in, I'd rather get more 8 to 10 in, if that makes sense.
It does, and I did hear you. I do know there's a lot of smaller cities in our surrounding area that probably have no one in that area.
Yep.
That could help them, so that would be good. But if you are planning to branch out further out, you need to consider your name, because I'm thinking, if I, again, as a homeowner, if I see your name is Fayetteville, then you only do Fayetteville. And you would, if you were going to come out to my city, then you would charge me an arm and a leg to come out. Now, if you're planning to expand out where you have technicians in those other areas and all that, that's something you're going to need to consider, because your name implies you're only Fayetteville.
Yeah, that's huge. We definitely have to build a parent company, but I had to get this thing launched and rolling and some proof that it really works till we could actually go with the bigger goal. So I had to get a prototype, and I want to do Fayetteville Appliance. I want to do like Eastover Appliance Repair, things like that. So I'll really zero in on those small cities like that, if that makes sense. That's a great, you're right, exactly right.
Well, it depends. It's really good to identify that I know I have someone in my area, but if you are trying to keep it under one umbrella, then you need to factor in that if every time you name it that one city, people are going to think that you're only in that area, because some of the charges people have just to come out now can be huge, and that might stop some people from calling you because they think you're only in that area. But it just depends on which direction you end up wanting to go.
Yeah, that's 100%. I love it. Thank you for that.
So, Marcus, I'd like to chime in and build on that. I think if you had the one name that, like Dean Burns was saying, if you had the one name for Fayetteville and the one name for Eastover, if I were talking to a friend of mine, I would say, yeah, Fayetteville Repair came out. And she'd say, oh, well, I got this great place, Eastover Repair. We would not understand that that's the same company.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Another thing too is that I grew up here in Fayetteville. My parents grew up here in Fayetteville, and in my neighborhood, we have a Facebook neighborhood Facebook page, and I'm also part of that next door. And I live over by Jack Britt High School. There's a ton of military people over there. So a lot of times when somebody's looking for somebody for repair or a painter or something like that, a lot of times the people that know me will actually send me a message and say, do you know anybody, blah, blah, blah. Can you recommend anybody? So I think if there's any way on that Nextdoor app to like expand, I know it's only for a certain area. I don't know if that makes sense. Like if you're over towards Ramsey Street, then your area is Ramsey Street and surrounding areas. But if there's any way that you could expand out towards other areas of Cumberland County, Cedar Creek, Riley Road, Jack Britt High School, all of those areas, if there's any way that you could do that, then you would be able to see when somebody is looking for an appliance repair, and if you can stay on top of it. But also, I was saying that at the beginning, if you would be able to get me some business cards, I'd be more than happy to keep them and hand them out to people, as I could.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. I would definitely drop some off. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much for that.
Our refrigerator actually went out a couple weeks ago, and we're at the point now where the people that my parents knew that they referred to me, they've all retired. So we don't even know anybody for appliance repair right now. So
Mail, I got y'all.
And also, have you looked at Angie's List?
No, ma'am, I don't deal with Angie's List at all. I have looked into it, but I don't deal with them.
Okay.
Marcus, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I can follow up on Jesse's idea of branching out and finding different avenues to work with. I just, following up with Dawn, my refrigerator went out in my home that I have up for sale, and I have a handyman who's making final repairs, and he doesn't have any background in appliances. So you might want to reach out to various handymen in the area who can use you to fix appliances. They did a great job saving me the cost of buying a new refrigerator. Second thing I was thinking of is that you're in need of technicians. Have you checked? I think one of the best friends I would have is a professor of an HVAC at a community college, and get some of his top students to possibly follow up on the training and train them your way.
I'm definitely in talks on that, and I appreciate that. I am working with somebody at the school.
So Marcus, we have a couple of questions also in the chat. Donna wants to know, are you working with any rental management agencies or companies?
Yeah, I am. I'm working with a couple of them. I would say 3 or 4 property more than that. I would say maybe 8 to 10 property management companies.
And also, Mark wants to know, what is your competitive advantage? Why should a client choose your business instead of your competition?
It's a great question. I'll be out there same day or next day to complete the repair, rather than a lot of companies are 2 to 3 weeks out right now. Another reason is my 90-day labor warranty. I don't think anybody in the industry gives 90 days on their work. Most companies do 30-day warranty. Yeah, the customer experience in the home, they're going to feel really comfortable when I'm booking the appointment. They're definitely going to feel great giving me their address for me to be able to come in their home with their kids and their family and things like that. So, yeah, I'm just gonna love on the customer a lot whenever I'm talking to them and moving forward with them, and they're gonna feel comfortable for sure. Does that answer it okay?
That answer's fine. I asked a question. Sounds like a good answer. I think that's the type of thing you ought to be emphasizing, why you're better than anybody. And the answer you gave me would convince me why I would want you instead of someone else.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I will.
And
Hey,
Marcus, that's important about people feeling safe with you coming into their home, because oftentimes my husband is out of town, so it would just be me and my daughter at home when a repairman came. And a lot of times, with it being a military town, spouses are deployed. So that's pretty important if you could find that some way to incorporate that into your advertising as well.
Very. I definitely try to.
Marcus, one question I think that hasn't come up, but it's been hanging out there in chat is, do you repair ice makers?
It's a great question. Yes, I do.
I knew you did, but I just want to make sure everybody knew, because everybody has an ice maker problem sooner or later.
Yes, and they're becoming a lot more frequent with these Samsung and LG refrigerators.
Especially if you have a Samsung. Believe me, I went through several of those, and I called the repair person, Marcus, and asked him the second time. You know what the repair guy told me? He said the best fix. He said the best fix for a Samsung ice maker is to roll it to the curb and buy a Frigidaire.
He's so right.
Fantastic luck with a Samsung, Jesse.
Yeah,
I just shared that with everyone.
Yeah, that's really good information. The Samsung and LG, and I'm pretty sure LG kind of bought their way out, but Samsung's hung up in a couple of lawsuits right now as far as that part goes, the ice maker thing.
So Marcus, we have a couple of questions in the chat. Dr. Fair wants to know, how do you manage your appointments for efficiency?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I have an app. It's called Service Works, and that's where I go for everything that I need. It's highly optimized for my industry.
And also another question from Ron. He wants to know, why not name the business after yourself instead of have a different name for each city? So for example, McDonald's doesn't name each franchise after its location or the franchisor.
That's good stuff. So I'm not selling sandwiches. I'm selling appliance repair. So usually when somebody looks me up, they're going to call me immediately. So I want to be really keyword heavy on the area. So I realized that with my name being Fayetteville Appliance Repair, I'll be easier to get to the top of Google, if that makes any sense. I was just strictly thinking marketing with that.
But someone in Dunn probably wouldn't contact somebody with the name of Fayetteville Appliance Repair.
Well, actually, a lot of people call me from Wilmington and Raleigh area as well. So they'll call anywhere, an hour or an hour and a half out, just because, I'm up there. I'm in their city. Like, even though my name may be different, they'll still call. Less people will definitely call, but they'll still be calling. but mainly Fayetteville is my main area. Like, I don't want to be going out there and spending all my gas and time, because if I go on a call that's 45 minutes out, that's 45-minute call there and back. So it's taken away from 2 calls rather than me just running 1 call. So it's not really efficient for the business.
Hey, Marcus, I see what you're saying about that, because if somebody was looking for an appliance repair and they didn't know anybody, and they went to the Google search box and just typed in appliance repair in Fayetteville, your business comes up in the top feed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I felt like that
Absolutely.
was one of the most important parts of my business.
Okay.
Marcus, there seems to be a lot of debate over your name in Fayetteville and limiting you. Couldn't you have the umbrella of Boyd's Appliance Services Inc. or something, and then do a DBA in every city? So on the side of your truck, it's Boyd's Appliance of Fayetteville, or Boyd's Appliance Repair of Wilmington, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That would be the plan. That's a great idea. Yes, sir. 100%.
Plus, you get the protection of a corporation or an LLC, which might be valuable as you expand. So.
Yes, sir. That's great. And I'm already set up as an LLC too, so it would kind of mix well.
Okay.
So Marcus, one of the things that you mentioned was you're having difficulty getting technicians. I mean, you need to attract them so you can grow. And you mentioned the fact that you were connecting with somebody here. I assume it was here. You said at college, I assume it's here.
Yeah.
What else are you doing to try to attract people? What is it why should I come work for you if I've got these great skills, you versus the other guy that's appliance repair?
That's a great question, really great question. So who I would be looking for is somebody with at least 2 years of experience. So with that right there, if they're able to go out and complete repairs halfway as good as maybe I can, then I can afford to be able to pay them 30% of the completed job rather than an hourly wage of 17 to 25, even $30 an hour. And that would make a ton more money and obviously give them a lot more incentive to be able to put more money in their pocket and maybe be more independent. So, so I would want to definitely do 1099 with them and give them a percentage, and lots more incentive too. But first off, it would need to be the right person, because it's really tough to find somebody experienced in our field. Does that answer?
It does in a way, and I like the fact that if I've got really mad good skills and I'm timely in terms of my service, because while you can book more than you can want to be able to book multiple people, not in a day, not spend all these hours on one person or traveling. But not everybody is money's not the thing for everybody.
That's great.
They may prefer, like you might have some people who prefer to work longer days, fewer days a week, or something of that nature, where especially now with all the changes that have taken place, where people are having to try to manage their childcare or their schooling or whatever. So sometimes you have to look at the non-monetary benefits that you could offer as well. Like, for example, you might work 3 or 4 12-hour days or 10-hour days instead of every day of the week or something of that nature. So sometimes you can appeal to people by things other than money. Just keep that in mind, because for some people with mad skills, quality of life is important as well.
That's really good. I appreciate that. That's definitely something to be looking at. I mean, as long as they're knocking out 30 to 40 calls a week, they can run their schedule however they want to and put the customers on their schedule however they want to. That's great. Yes, you're right about that. Huge.
But that's another reason why it works, because if I get a technician who'd rather work longer days, fewer days a week, then I can now schedule calls that are more efficient, or if there are times for my clients, because clients do work during the day and they have to take the time off. But if you can offer me a 6 p.m. service call or something, or 5 p.m. or something, then I'm more likely to probably call you, because I don't have to take a day off my work either.
Wow, that's great stuff. I love it. It's right on the track with what I'm doing.
Marcus, you mentioned that you spent money on like Google Words and things of that nature. How much money have you actually spent with your marketing and advertising?
Over 10,000 probably.
And is that like on what, the first year, or how are you doing it? How are you budgeting?
That was me. That was me learning. That was me learning as I went, with no guidance but YouTube and Google. So learning, starting from scratch and just being able to pull in customers that way. It was a trial and error kind of thing. So I did spend a good bit of money, but the important thing is what I made off of that, to be able to put back into the business, which I mean, I feel like I've made a lot more. It's kind of weird to track because it's a big, I guess I would say it's a experiment in a way, because I didn't know how to do it. So I spent more than I probably should have, but I made more, and I'll make a lot more off of what I learned from it. So yeah, does that answer it? Sorry.
Yeah, that answers that question. So now you said you use the app service for all your streaming as far as clients coming in. Who's handling? Are you the only person that's handling your advertising now, or your marketing now, or you're the one just putting all the keywords in? You're the one who's posting everything to Facebook and Instagram. Are you doing everything yourself now?
Yeah, I am. I am. And I would like to continue to do that and work myself out of the technician part of this business and work myself into the marketing side, because I feel like I'm so good at it. Yeah, I'm doing everything myself. I wish I had more time to do more and learn more, because I love it that much. So if that makes sense.
Okay. So you say you want to grow faster, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so growing faster. If you want to grow slow, you can do it by yourself. You want to grow fast, you need to build a team.
100%.
So my suggestion to you, I'm a little biased because I work in radio. I would suggest that you get some help with your marketing. It doesn't have to be radio, but you need some help, and not somebody to do everything for you, but some of that stuff and guiding of what's really going to help you, what to do this, don't do that. Maybe even we're talking, I know when I did my schooling at Fayetteville Tech, my degree is in business and administration, concentration in marketing. I had to do a co-op. I had to do internship. And that internship, I didn't get paid for it, but it was part of my program. And that was very key to me learning my trade. And even for you, having somebody that can volunteer, somebody who wants to do it and help you, maybe even with your social media posting, if you're on Instagram and Facebook, if you're on Twitter, because right now you still need to be out there, get in the field doing the work. Mm-hmm. And it helps you to see where you want to go and grow faster. I definitely think you should do some other type of things besides social media. We could talk later in the aspect of anything we have as far as radio or digital advertising that's beyond radio, like the keyword searching that you're talking about doing. There's geo tracking that's available for you that once you put into it, you put like your keywords, and when someone's typing in those keywords, they're getting pinged the message, hey, this company offers this thing, not just on Google. So you have a lot more options that you probably are not aware of because you're just not the pro in that field yet. So I definitely think you should talk with some other marketers in the area that can help you with that. And definitely see if Fayetteville Tech has a co-op opportunity still available for any internships that might want to be able to, you know, co-op with you in that aspect.
That's all really good information. I'd love to talk with you later about that as well. Yeah, I definitely would like to intern on some things. That's really smart, really, really smart. And as far as talking to others and getting them to market for me, right now, obviously, I'm trying to keep my budget low, so it'd be really hard to pay for that. I mean, I'm already paying for Google Ads a little bit right now. So, but what I have reached out to some people and offered them a percentage of the call that I come in if they wanted to handle advertising and marketing for me, but everybody wants upfront pay and I don't want to pay them upfront. So one day I will figure out some people that will work for a percentage or something like that. Right on track with what I'm doing. I appreciate that. It's great stuff.
Can I chime in? This is Dr. Fair. And Ms. Melvin made some really interesting points about marketing. Very, very good stuff there. I want to shift it just a little bit because the marketing is good, but it sounds like there's a need for your service. And I think having a way to control that volume, and I asked a question about efficiency because, you know, if there's a need for your service, and obviously it's there, having some type of administrative foundation is gonna really align things such a way that, you know, you're by yourself. I mean, it makes it more efficient to have someone to or something to line it up. I know you say you have the app, but, you know, having an administrative foundation to help manage the volume, you know, and really get that thing, you know, nailed down, I think that'll really help you. Having to do it by yourself is difficult. You know, as a matter of fact, you're going to miss more opportunities doing it by yourself than having an administrative base to manage that for you. You know, calls coming in, people, you know, I mean, it can add up. But if you don't have anyone, let's say you're on the job and you're the only one answering the phone, you know, you're not going to be able to answer the phone if you're behind the dryer. But having someone there to take that call, to catch that call, and every call that comes in, I think it would pay for itself in the long run. Just having that administrative background, someone there, you know, and you could get an intern to do it. You know, I mean, I think that's an excellent idea, having someone intern on the administrative side, you know, to help manage that. Just something to think about. The marketing is great, but I mean, you know, in itself, I think just the mere fact that there's a need in this area, I think you're gonna do well. But the administrative side is going to hinder you in such that, you know, a way that you're not going to be able to grow past, you know, past you know, what you're able to do, you know, and that's
exactly where I'm sorry.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So no, that's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm struggling. Like these long nights and early mornings are getting tough, and it's because of the administration lack. So first off, I'm entrepreneurial headed or whatever, so I'm really scattered. That right there, and then the technician is overworked, and then so the manager has don't have much time to really learn and then implement new processes and easier processes and actually have somebody keeping up with it, like you said, answering calls. Because I could pay somebody $5 an hour to answer some phones or whatever, but it wouldn't be that efficient just answering phones. And then I'm still struggling on other ends too. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I'm at. I'm kind of feeling like I'm drowning at this point and need some help on the administrative side, but I'm scared to pay money out right now because I'm in starter mode and still kind of doing the day-to-day bill thing.
Let me address that if I may. When you come over to the college and you get somebody who's doing work-based learning, a lot of times they have skills more than just answering the phone. We train, especially like our office administration folks, and I know Dawn and Lisa can chime in on this. They teach them to do a whole lot more than just answer phones. You'd be surprised what all they can do to help you. Everything from not only answering the phones, but it's a lot of them will have social media skills. They will have skills where they can help manage your receipts, your collections, and your keeping track of your financials. I mean, there's all kinds of skills we have over here, and you can probably get a lot of that in one person. And we can certainly help you with that. But there's many different fields. You could get a marketing student, or you could get an office administration student. But you'd be surprised what all they require their students to take now. It's not just what you would probably think of as office administration anymore. It is a lot broader. The expectations in the office now are significantly different than they used to be 20 years ago.
Who should I reach out to talk more about the interns and things? That's genius, you guys. I appreciate that.
I'm actually typing in our contact information for office administration in the chat room for you right now.
So I would recommend two things. Lori will give you the information to contact our person who sets that up, but Dawn or Lisa Fagan can tell you about what some of their skills their students have in the office administration program. We also have marketing programs, so there's a lot of things we can do. But before we start, we're getting close on time. I wanted to share with you, if you've not seen the comment Don made in the chat, he wants to have your websites down because he said he would get a working website. And besides Fayetteville, he said, make a page for every city or area you want to approach. And if you optimize it properly, it will show up in that city search. And he wants you to save your Google ad money. And Athena chimed in and she said she looked at your website and saw it was suspended as well. So she said you need to get that back up or get a website up so that you're not losing clients.
I'm actually looking as well. I can't access the website. So the first website is Beasley. It's actually, the first website is Appliance Repair Service Fayetteville. Okay, so very similar to yours. And then yours, and of course it's the website's down. So definitely address that. So you guys, I'm going to take the last question. Marcus, what can this community do for you? How can we help? You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. So y'all have already given me a ton of, so first let me address the website. I need to pay my bills. Sorry about that. And y'all giving me a ton of information already to run with and be able to do something huge with it. Basically, I'm just kind of looking, so resources was my biggest issue starting out. And at this point too, I've already gotten a good bit of resources from y'all. So I just need help, I guess, finding good people that may be interested in helping me grow. I feel like I have a good system in place, and I feel like I'm where I need to be in a lot of situations. I just need a little hand up.
So, and as Mr. Bellflowers told you earlier, network, network, network. And so saying that, I would love to have you come back and be a part of our audience. So I hope to see you soon. We'd love to have you come back and tell us where you are in terms of your business. I'll talk to you a little bit afterwards. And again, I'll provide Kent some information about our work-based learning. Ms. Gillis, Ms. Fagan are also going to give you a little bit of information as far as office administration. I would definitely encourage you to follow up with all of that.
I will.
Glad that you came today. Thanks for the fantastic presentation.